What's going on, guys? Mac Dallin here with another farm strategy summary and review. Today we're going to be talking about essence in waste pool. I'm going to show you how I set everything up. I'm going to talk about the Atlas passive tree, and then we will go over my scores for the strategy. Setting it up is very straightforward. We're going to run a Harbinger Scarab. Rusted is fine. You can run polished, you could run gilded, whatever you have the funds for. We're going to run the Essence Compass that gives us chance to drop Remnants of Corruption, as well as an additional essence in each map. And then we're going to run the Harbinger Compass. As always, I am running red altars. You can certainly switch it up and run the blue if that is to your taste. However, with the price of divines falling in terms of its relation to chaos orbs, the red altars are once again gaining in value. So let's jump over and take a look at the Atlas passive tree. We're going to come up right through the middle here, grab our essence, and shoot up here. We're going to block everything except for Delirium on this side, and we're going to block everything on this side. We're going to grab Delirium Chance here. Harbinger nodes. We're going to swing down here so we can grab this gateway. We're going to grab this one here as well. We're going to come up on this side, grab our Harbinger nodes, Singular Focus, 7th gate, and then in the middle section we're going to fill out the rest of our Harbinger nodes, grab the Essence nodes here, come up this way and grab another gateway, and then we're going to shoot to the left side and we're going to grab Essence nodes here, another gateway, and then we're going to come over here, grab our last chunk of Essence nodes, and swing down to grab the last gateway. We're going to grab our altar nodes here. Oh, and this is the last gateway, pardon me. And then we're going to grab Delirium nodes here, as well as Delirium Chance right here. And we'll grab the last little chunk of our altar nodes there, swing up to the very top of the tree to grab our last little set of Delirium nodes. And that is the setup. Obviously, since we are running 7th gate, when you go to open each map, you are going to select the Essence option from the list that is given to you there, since using 7th gate will open up all of the crafting options from the map device. Now let's jump over and take a look at the scores. All right, for fun, I'm going to give this strategy an 8. Very enjoyable, solid, a little bit better than average, but not stellar. Certainly a strategy that I recommend and something that I think people will enjoy. However, I will concede that part of the reason I selected Waste Pool was specifically to match up with my Death's Oath build, so that of course was fine. But also I was kind of hoping to drop a Doctor, and number one, I didn't ever drop one, and number two, Cemetery might just straight up be better, because I think a Doctor right now is only worth 5.5 divine. You may as well just go farm up Brother's Gifts in Cemetery. It generally, I think, has more monsters in it than a Waste Pool map, and yeah, that was kind of just a disappointment, one of the intricacies of this strange market that we find ourselves in the Affliction League. Repeatability, I'm also going to give it an 8. Definitely, this is a strategy that was, fun to just blast a bunch of maps over and over, but it did start to grate on me a little bit, having to go into the specific room for the boss. And an interesting thing that has happened, I would say probably 5 times, maybe only 4 times, I can't remember, out of the 150 maps that I did. In the boss room, the Harbinger that you get from the compass can get trapped in the cauldron, and then it can't spawn any mobs. So you just get robbed out of your, compass worth of Harbinger there. Obviously, you're still getting the benefit of the boss dropping a few shards or whatever, and rare shards generally, and etc. But you get one of those Harbingers just gets stolen from you in the boss room, and that was actually a little bit more frustrating than I would have anticipated. The first time was funny, but when I realized, oh, this is a thing that actually happens repeatably, relatively reliably, the more that you do this map, I realized that scales back the repeatability a little bit, because of course if you were doing a map like Cemetery, as I mentioned a few moments ago, that just straight up would never happen. That's just not a thing that can happen in that map. So there we are on that. As far as scalability, I'm going to give it a 7. You could go a little bit further in terms of your Scarab, and that is about it. I think if you were to try and scale this in any other way, you would essentially be doing a different strategy. You could certainly ramp up on the Delirium. You could take more nodes there. You could run the Delirium Compass if that was your desire. But again, at that point, you're kind of farming Delirium. And the whole point of this was get through the maps relatively quickly, farm up the essences, farm up the Harbingers, and get out. And so scalability-wise, it's fine. You could go a little bit further, but it's not something you can giga juice out. As far as profit, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Pretty stable income, I would say. Over the course of all the maps, in terms of the essences, I was dropping about 0.2 to 0.33 of a divine per map. So somewhere around a quarter of a divine, I would say, was the happy median there. And then, of course, you are dropping Harbinger shards. I had some fracturing shards drop, et cetera, et cetera. But generally speaking, as far as the ranking there, I gave it the 7.5 on the essences. I thought it was going to be a little bit better than it was, given how many essence monsters there are on each map and how many essences were dropping. I don't know if the prices have fallen a little bit or what's going on there, but it was a little bit less profitable than I anticipated, but not bad. 7.5, totally acceptable, fun strategy, worth your time. For efficiency, I'm going to give it a 7. You have to buy only 2 compasses and some scarabs. However, you have to bulk sell the essences. And that means either dealing with TFT or, and I would have given it, if TFT was the only option, I would have given this a 6 for efficiency. Anytime I have to specifically go bulk sell a thing for a strategy, that drags it down a lot because I don't enjoy doing that. However, the arrival of Wealthy Exile as a new tool in order to bulk sell your items from your stash makes things a little bit easier. It did take me a lot longer to sell my essences on Wealthy Exile than it would have had I just posted in the channel on TFT. But I suspicion if more people start using Wealthy Exile, it could easily get to the point where it's just the premier place to bulk sell. And so that is worth considering. So a 7 for efficiency there, where it might have been a 6.5 or even a 6 if I had had to deal with the TFT Discord server, especially considering all of the drama that is associated with that, et cetera, et cetera. So overall, we've got a score of 7.5. Enjoyable strategy, totally worth your time. But again, maybe go ahead and throw Cemetery on there instead. I think you might actually just make more money off of the card drops over the course of, 100, 150 maps. If you drop a couple Brothers Gifts, then you're certainly making more than the 0 doctors that I found. And honestly, dropping a doctor and only being able to sell it for 5.5 divines is probably not going to feel that great. So maybe switch the map up, but generally speaking, running 7th Gate, amping up the number of essence monsters in the map, kind of an interesting strategy that I have not done before. I had never used 7th Gate, and I had never really focused primarily on essence as a strategy. I know it's been a part of other stuff that I've done before, but this was, I believe, the first straight-up essence farm that I have done. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it, and that is about all I've got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, please do give me a like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot, and I will see you in the next one. I appreciate you.